Now back to...
recognised as one of the top harness racing drivers in New Zealand today, and he's here in Sydney driving in the Trotters Grand Final behind Special Force, and he's on the exciting pacer Stars and Stripes in the Pacers Grand Final. Here he is with Sheldon Murtha.
Ken, when we talked to you midweek out of Darren Hancock's place, you were really confident. You just wanted a bit of luck, a nice draw. Didn't get the nice draw.
No, Sheldon, I mean, he's come through the heats very well, and the horse is just on top of his game. I couldn't have him any better, but very disappointed the barrier draw.
But you must have analysed it since to death, probably. You probably only got one option, so it was always going to be that way anyway, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. I mean, a lot of people don't understand the Australian racing, and you've just got to get handy. I think you've only got to look at his first heat run. A lot of people were surprised he went forward, but he still run past Joe Fess very easily, so I haven't discounted going forward. You know, it's just too hard when you go back. You've got the whole field in front of you, so going to make the decision when the big gates leave.
As it goes, it's probably going to go two ways, isn't it? They're either going to get to the front easily, those two superstars, and hold it up for themselves, or they're going to have trouble, and therefore you're going to have maybe a 156 mile rate going, and you obviously want the latter. How do you see that first 400? Do you take much notice of what's going on in the first 400, really?
Yeah, I do, Sheldon. You know, my philosophy on this race is that there was about half a dozen bad drives in Brisbane, and it was only a year ago, and I don't believe they'll do it again. They may do. There's a lot of money up for grabs, and they may go as hard as they did up there, but, you know, I'm more fearful of what you said initially as the sit and sprint approach when they fall into their posies too soon. So, you know, I just think the way they drove at Brisbane, you know, I don't think they'll do it again.
Am I getting a slight hint here that there could be a miracle chance of seeing Stars and Stripes in that fluorescent pink breastplate making progress around the field by himself at some stage if they're going so slow?
Yeah, well, I mean,
you just can't do it all. You can't do a Servance a lot, can you? Just sit back and let him and hand him the money.
No, that's right. I mean, people think he's got no gate speed. Well, why can he run home in 27 if he's got no speed? I mean, we just haven't used it, and he hasn't got the draw again to use it. So
if you use it early, can you use it at the end, though? Well,
he did in the first heat. I think we've got a better horse than what he was in the first heat. So he can do a little bit. There's no doubt about that. Like I say, we're just going to have to play it by ear. It's just going to be a decision at the time.
So horses 100%, the barrier draws about 10%. You still think you can actually win it for the Kiwis?
Yeah, I hope I can, yeah. I think the horse is good enough to do it. I think his form is good enough to do it. Even though beaten last Friday night, he ran the fastest last half of the heat. So I genuinely believe that he's a better horse than he was on the first night and also the third night. So, yeah, I think he's a winning chance.
Just finally, a few people did note him hanging around that corner and may have thought that he may have been struggling to get through the series on the third night, in the sense that, you know, just the wear and tear might be happening. You've got no problems with that tonight?
No, none whatsoever, Sheldon. He got shunted out in both the Newcastle and the last round of heats, and he was actually getting pushed sideways, which was more the problem than the horse himself. So, no, it's very hard to change ground on the last corner here at Held Park, but you can track up good as gold. So, no, he was just getting pushed sideways. There's no problem there.
Well, I've got to say, that is one of the most interesting interviews I've heard with a harness racing driver in a long, long time. Ken Barron spoke a lot of sense and enlightened us a great deal to the technique that he may be using on Stars and Stripes. It's been generally accepted all week long, ever since the barrier draw, that he'd go straight back. But that may not be the case. And Sam, that came as a mild surprise to me.
Yeah, sure, Tappy. Most expected him to go back, and I think we'll probably still see him go back. But Ken Barron at least warning rival drivers that he does have an ace or two up his sleeve if need be. As far as race 3 is concerned, well, we've got another short...
Making her final appearance in the Inter-Dominion Pacers Grand Final later on. Yep, the Kiwis have arrived, and thanks for having me at your place to, well, take in the next hour here at Harold Park, and it's a couple of the highlights in store. The Inter-Dominion Consolation is coming up, of course. That's next, and then we'll be into the Grand Final for the Trotters as well. And it's the trotting angle we're going to take first up here with, of course, the lady who's looking to become, arguably, one of the history makers in Inter-Dominion trotting history, I suppose. Kieran Gath, who's got the job to steer La Cucaracha around a track that she doesn't enjoy, but gets around pretty quick anyway.
Thanks, Sheldon. Yes, Kieran Gath joining us, and you're looking all dolled up tonight, Kieran. Good to see you putting on your finest for tonight, and it's a big occasion too, this mighty mare La Cucaracha. She's come onto the scene with such magnificence. It's been a delight to watch her, but this is the one you're really after.
Yeah, tonight Adam's the night. Came to the heats really well, and tonight it's a big ask off the handicap with the big field in front, but the way she's been going, she's certainly going very well.
Let's analyse the series so far. Night one turned out to be quite a desperate battle in the home straight. I think you yourself had given up on the home turn.
I had, yeah. I was hoping to run third at the best on that night, and she really did rally in the straight, and yeah, she did go super. The next time she was even better, and tonight I hope she's better again.
Well, we'll talk about tonight in just a moment, but the second night was a significant improvement from the point of view that she looked as though she enjoyed the race more. She showed a lot more speed in the straights, and she began a lot better.
She did. She began like a rocket. She I guess I was a bit more confident knowing she would get around, as the week before I was a bit nervous she wouldn't handle the track, and I was a bit cautious on her, and I guess having that little bit of confidence, I drove her a little bit more aggressively and got her out a bit quicker, and she had a good sit in the run. She had the run of the race, but she still had to prove it at the end, and she ran away from him.
Your husband Andy has been telling us all that she loves this. She loves backing up for sort of 3 times in as many weeks. Is it possible she could even step up a notch on last week, as scary as that sounds?
I think it's possible that she can. She was flat on the line last week. I really drove her right out. I think she needed that because she doesn't get pushed out all that often, and I think that'll help her fitness a bit too. And she's been well on the way. She looks terrific. She probably looks best she's ever looked, and she's really bright. So, horses are a funny animal, but I think she should be better.
And I get the feeling you'd love to put her into the action too. You wouldn't want to be sitting back. You'd love to see her up outside the leader or using that speed of hers to go to the front. Yeah,
I guess that would be the plan, although I guess I have to wait to see how I get away, what's in front of me, and I think they'll all be wanting to get around before me, which makes it a little bit tough, with Night Pistol. And now the finals, you try to get around, you find that everything wanted to go and you just couldn't get around. So having more speed than him is going to be a bonus for her, but it's still going to have to be a little bit cautious.
Well, a huge crowd turned out here, a lot of them to see this mighty mare. Good luck tonight, Karen.
Thank you, Adam.
And I don't know whether she needs any luck, actually, Adam. La Cucaracha, if she gets round, should win. I know back home in New Zealand we've been comparing her ourselves with the great Lyle Creek, who, of course, these days is running riot over in the United States. She's just something phenomenal to watch, and she'll provide most of the fireworks, that's for sure, in the Inter-Dominion Trotters Grand Final, which is only 2 races away here at Harold Park. Just after the break, we've got Geelong not too far away. We'll be preparing for some information on the Consolation through Sam Natai, and also interviewing one of the connections with one of the outsiders in the Inter-Dominion Pacers Grand Final later on. It is a bonza crowd here at Harold Park to witness the Inter-Dominion Grand Finals of 2002. And this is Sky Racing's live coverage of Australasia's most exciting event for sure. We've got a special guest in here now, trackside here at Harold Park, Carol Wood, who I've only just been introduced to. She's a co-owner of one of the outsiders in the field for the Inter-Dominion Pacing Championships later on. We had trouble back home in New Zealand pronouncing this one. I think we've finally nailed it as de Rubelgie. I guess an opening question, Carol, is the name. From a totally ignorant point of view, where does it come from? Is it a place?
It's the name of a small town just south of Forbes, between Forbes and Parkes. And it's where Bruce's grandfather worked pre-Depression years. And as a young kid, he couldn't pronounce the name. And it's something that's always stuck with him, so he decided to call the horse Darubelgie. It's either Darubelgie, I'm not sure if it's Darubelgie or Darubelgie.
We still don't know for sure.
Well, it depends. Some people call it Darubelgie and some call it Darubelgie.
Now, have you brought the whole town of Darubelgie in with you in the car tonight to watch it? I suppose you have a fan club there, like, say, what's his name, Smooth Setting has in Bathurst?
No, we in fact, we haven't been back out there. When you drive through, if you blink, you nearly miss it, because there's only an old run-down abattoir there, and there used to be a general store, which is now gone.
So the name of the place is actually bigger than the place?
Yes, yeah.
Now, I've just got some notes here, and I can't believe that you've only got 3 racehorses.
That's right.
You and your husband.
Yes, that's right.
So you describe yourself as what? Very low key.
Yes,
So
we don't look for outside horses. Bruce works. and I usually do most of the work with the horses, even though this last couple of weeks I haven't done as much with this horse because he's become a bit stirred up, a bit harder to handle.
So this Inter-Dominion thing, this is just out of control for you then, isn't it?
You're not wrong. It's we hope we might get to Group 1 level next year, not this year. And because the heats were in Sydney, we decided to put him in, see how he went. We made the 36, so thank you to the handicappers for that. And then we've come through and made the final.
Carol, we've got Geelong races coming up shortly, so I've got a chance just to say good luck, and how's the camp feeling realistically going into this race tonight? Do you think you're hoping or you're confident?
Well, no illusions on where we might finish. I'll be happy if we finish in amongst them. Hope that we can hold our position coming out of the gate. We can hope to be on Shaker-Maker or Carrier-Klein.
You've got a great position, so hopefully you're right in the thick of it.
Hope that we can do something there and just finish up with them and look forward to next year.
All the best, and we'll look forward to seeing you at Addington too. They're about to go here at Geelong, and Ron Hawkswell's about to call it, race 5.
Thanks, Vizzini.
Got his right draw. Black Duke is the horse that I'm going to tip, but in a very open race. Monamigos runs have been okay as well. Gobamush the leader, if that's what you're looking for. I thought his run last week was very good when he had to come from behind. Another party, a massive roughie. Lombo Repeater will go to the chair. I've put her in somewhere. Pick Me Pockets had every possible last week and battle on a Kate for third. Left Right Out looks a very, very tired horse for me. I'm staying right out of Left Right Out, and there's been no bigger fan of the horse than me. Western Light, another one that's come through the heat's great. Persistency, I think, is a better leader. Johnny Wizard, a fluke roughie's hope. And then we go to Home for Christmas, who's in trouble from the draw, I would think. I went 2-5-8-1, but many, many chances.
Look, I agree with your sort of thoughts on the race, that it's a very, very tough one. I am sort of attracted at the odds now that you can get for Western Light. I think it's been going extra well without any luck at all through the heats. And this is an appreciable drop in class for the horse who was really looking like one of the emerging stars of Victorian harness racing only a couple of months back. I think at the $11, that's about the right odds for me. Quickly, my thoughts on the Victorians. Lombo Repeater, she'll run a wonderful race, no doubt about it. But I just wonder, she'll wobble on that last turn here as she has done in the 2 heats of the series so far. If something has got the last shot at her, they'll beat her, but she'll battle away strongly. And the other one's Persistency. She's been disappointing in this series for mine. If somebody had have said to you Black Duke would be a better chance of winning the Consolation than Persistency before the series started, you would have been laughed at. But I'm sure Gavin Lang's scratching his head a bit. Maybe good signs there that there's been support for the horse on the TAB. That could also be the loyalty factor, because this is the horse who was only about a $5 or $6 chance in the Inter-Dominion final last year. So I think he's struggling too much for mine, Persistency. So in a nutshell, I'm happy to be on Western Light each way. I agree with you. Left Right Out to me. Not sure it had the ideal sort of preparation for the series, and a couple of hard runs seem to have just knocked it around a bit.
Yeah, certainly seemed to suffer fatigue going through the series. Look, to be truthful with you, at $6.30, if you're a Left Right Out fan, you can probably stay loyal at those odds. But for me, narrowing it down to 4, it was 2-5-8-1. Western Light, definitely a chance. A few others there as well. I think David Fowler's going to call this race. Why don't we head up to David, down from Queensland, to enjoy tonight's Inter-Dominion action.
Thanks, Sam. Yes, they're about to move up as we get ready for the big ones, but this is the pre-seeder, the Consolation, open betting here on track. And on the TAB, Lombo Rapida, number 8, will run 4:30 in favourite. Runners moving forward now. And Pick Me Pockets is coming up to the gate. Lombo Rapida is moving forward with another party, and Gobamush, who's a fast beginner. Monamigo, Black Duke and Amir will run from barrier 1. Second line is coming forward, Left Right Out, Western Light, Johnny Wizard, Persistency and Home for Christmas. The mobile is now rolling. We're getting set for a start in race number 4. Second leg of the daily double in New South Wales. Starting in the home straight and 3 laps at the winning post before this wonderful crowd here at Harold Park. Record-breaking figures as the mobile picks up speed and heads into the home straight. 100 from release point. Wait for the light. There it is. They're racing now. Out wide, Gobamoosh began brilliantly. Another party came away well. Black Duke is kicking up to the inside. They're beating Amir for speed. Monamigo driving through to be just behind them, and Western Light swiftly away from the second line, then left, right out. Lombo Rapids in the second half of the field, and she's 3 wide on settling down. Followed by Persistency, Home for Christmas, Johnny Wizard, and Pick Me Pockets went off stride soon after the start. He's tailed out 50 metres. Travelling down the back straight, and the front runner is Black Duke, leads by 1 length on Gobamoosh, who's parked out. Amir securing a good run in the early stages, following the leader third. Another party trap 3 wide, so the driver has no option but to go forward. Going around Monamigo and left, right out, settling 3 back the pegs. Lombo Rapida, this strong mare, trails 3 wide in the back of another party. Then came Western Light, 2 lengths away Persistency, trailed by Home for Christmas. Then came Johnny Wizard and 2 to Pick Me Pockets, whipping them in, travelling 12 lengths off the lead. Heading into the home straight, almost 1 lap completed, and the front runner was Black Duke. From on the outside, Gobamoosh. Now another party can't get in. Gobamoosh keeps the position outside the leader, so he eases on another party. Amir behind the leader, and Monamigo trailing well 1-1. Left, right out as 5th, inside of Western Light. Well, no luck for the favourite Lombo Rapida. She's planted 3 wide. At least she does have cover. Then came Persistency, followed by Johnny Wizard, hooking into the 3 wide line, as does Pick Me Pockets and Home for Christmas towards the tail. 10 lengths from top end to tail, travelling down the back straight, and the lead time was in 69.8. That is brisk going, and Black Duke's attempting an all-the-way win. He's out by a length on Gobamoosh. Third, the inside. Amir's had a cheap run. There goes Lombo Rapida. She's off and running 3 wide solo now. Monamigo trailing 5th, 1-1. Left, right out 6 the pegs. Western Light manoeuvres into the 3 wide line, and Lang on Persistency did the same thing. He goes to midfield, then Home for Christmas. Another party's had a terribly hard run. He's easing out at this stage, and then came Johnny Wizard, and Pick Me Pockets is last of all. Into the home bend and around into the home straight. And the first quarter of the last mile, they steadied. 32.7, a lap left to go in the Consolation. A line of 3. Black Duke, he's had a breather in the middle stages. Gobamoosh is fired up in the centre and 3 wide. She's going to grind away for the last lap, Lombo Rapida. Amir snookered behind the leader. Monamigo's had a good run, but trapped in traffic. 6th and 3 wide with a trail. Western Light putting himself into the race at the right time. Getting 1 off the inside, left, right out, but still sandwiched. Persistency trailing 3 wide, then Pick Me Pockets, Home for Christmas, and Johnny Wizard is last of all. 32 the second split. It was a comfortable half, 64.7. Now they up the tempo, and Black Duke was tackled in earnest on the outside by Gobamoosh. Lombo Rapida still there, 3 wide. Amir needs a run. Monamigo under pressure. Western Light's about to come out 4 wide as they ran inside the 400. Then another party, left, right out, Persistency, followed by Johnny Wizard, Pick Me Pockets, and Home for Christmas. Only 30.3 the second last quarter. Black Duke's got a kick left into the bend. He leads from Gobamoosh. Amir needs a run. Western Light winding up, and then Monamigo in the straight. Black Duke in front. Amir comes to the outside after it, and Western Light. It's still Black Duke in front. He's kicking. Amir is charging late. Black Duke, Amir, they hit the line. Amir might have got up and allows Black Duke. Photo. Third home Western Light, then Gobamoosh, left, right out, Pick Me Pockets. Monamigo followed by Home for Christmas, Johnny Wizard. Well back in the field was another party, Lombo Rapida tired, and Persistency towards the tail. Photo finish. Amir charging on the outside. May have got up to beat Black Duke, who led everywhere bar the last few strides. But Amir having a comfortable run, got into the clear as heads were turned for home. And he's come with giant strides. Stand by for the number. It's a photo finish. Number 1, Amir, at $11.80 and $3.10 is in a camera with 2 Black Duke at $6.80 and $3.20. We're standing by for the numbers to be confirmed. The time, 3:12.8. It's a mile rate of 2 minutes and 9/10. 69.8 the lead time. Quarters of 32.6, 32. So whilst it was a fairly quick lead time, they backed off in the middle stages, 30.4 down the back, and home in 29 seconds. Black Duke leading for home, but you could see Amir was going to pose a threat on the outside. Western Light was up to third. There go the numbers officially. 1, 2, 11, 10 and 5.
Into Dominion Consolation, called by guest caller from Queensland, David Fowler, and Amir, who's probably been going backwards through the series generally. Started off with an unlucky 4th to Stars and Stripes in the opening round, but didn't really improve on it through the series, and really through that race Black Duke looked the winner a long way from home, but he just couldn't keep going to the line. Well, he did keep going to the line, but Amir coming off the markers and just pouncing at the right time and getting there, paying $11.80 and $3.10 on the New South Wales tote. Trying to get Sam Nartai in for a post-race interview. Black Duke at $3.20 and Western Light at $3.20, $36.80. Quinella, the exacta, $125.90. Trifecta 1 and 2. The barrier draws with 11, $873 even in the shopfast.com.au 2002 Inter-Dominion Pacers Consolation. So the Greyhounds heading round to the start for our next race here on Sky Channel's coverage on Friday night. Coming from Geelong again, of course, in the next 15 minutes or so. Sam Natai will also have a chat to Brian Hancock, who, of course, has the Mighty Mouse in the Inter-Dominion final later on, Courage Under Fire. Having seen him during the week, he's in fine fettle, possibly even better fettle, it appears anyway, on the surface than he was going into the Miracle Mile, where, of course, he just got pipped by Smooth Satin, but the king of the Inter-Dominions knows how to prepare them for this series, and he's going to be the one to beat in many respects later on tonight. So Brian Hancock coming up in the next 10 or 15. And also hopefully a connection.
What a fabulous transformation for this horse. You've really done a great job with him.
Oh, it's just been a dream. We've had him since he was 2, and as all good horse, we've had dramas, and it's just fantastic.
Enjoy the moment. Pretty big crowd.
Fantastic, yeah. Lots of friends and relatives here too, so plenty of time to enjoy it.
Peter, Trevor Jones and Amir, the Consolation winner for 2002.
Amir, the winner of the Inter-Dominion Pacers Consolation. As I said, after starting the carnival with a nice 4th, but really didn't impress on the other 2 nights, but he's got the chocolates and the $50,000 consolation, which is good news for all concerned. Okay, Redcliffe and Craig Rails. Grand final here at Harold Park. We're just going to hone in briefly on the Pacers Grand Final a wee bit later on. Darren Hancock, well, he's got a job to do. He's got Joe Fess drawn 1 on the second line, and Sam Natai's with him now.
You must like the inside of the second line for these big races.
Yeah, he hasn't drawn the best in these races, but oh no, we had luck last time. You know, hope luck goes our way again.
The Victoria Cup, you punched through. You got the lead in the end. You'd like both to happen again, but firstly, the pushing through.
Oh yeah, I can't go back. You know, it's too big a field here on Harold Park, and if you go back, I don't think you've got any hope. So, you know, the best horses are off the front, and they've all drawn pretty good. So I'll just poke through and see where I lob.
Winless through the heats, but gallant.
Yeah, he's probably, you know, yeah, he's probably stretched the 2 champions in the heats. So, you know, he's not far off them.
Your Uncle Brian's known as the king of the Inter-Dominions. Surely you must have gleaned a little bit of what he does with his horses.
Oh, well, I've watched and tried to learn anyway, but yeah, no, he's a lovely horse, this horse. At least I'm sort of going in the race with a chance. You know, the other finalists I've had in it sort of didn't have as good a chance as this horse, and I do like the horse. I think he's with the right trip, and if something happens, you know, he'll be right there.
Everyone expected him to thrive through the carnival. Is that what's happened?
Yeah, he's done really well this week. You know, he's had that week off, and yeah, he's jumped out of his skin. So he'll be as good as I can get him tonight. He's yeah, he'll be around.
Certainly one of those horses that probably has to take the bull by the horns at some stage during the Pacing Grand Final. Joe Fess and Darren Hancock, as the Trotters are on the field, or on the track now for the Inter-Dominion Trotting Grand Final. Understandably, La Cucaracha is a raging hot favourite, but one of the Kiwis, and probably the top seed of the Kiwi horses when they came over here for this Inter-Dominion Championship, Take a Moment, will be trying to defend his title, won so impressively at Albion Park. And Bruce Greenhill is the syndicate manager here, fairly nervous. Said my hand was wetter than his, so obviously you're cool, calm and collected now that you've got one of these under the belt.
Very much so. Well, not really, actually. It's probably last year. I think we were very nervous last year as well, because we didn't know really what he was capable of.
You now lent a bit of money as well.
We found out what he was capable of last year, but definitely a different ball game this year with La Cucaracha coming on board.
Go into these things with the pressure all over them, don't they? But this time
This time, not really, no.
Would you say relaxed about it, or?
I'd say there's a little bit of pressure in the camp. Tim and Anthony, when you look at them, they never look that anxious anyway. But they're that sort of people. But in my opinion, they're probably the best trainers in the game. And
it's probably proven by the fact that this horse actually wins the big ones. I mean, he won I think we're going to have a look at the Dominion handicap at Addington. I mean, he was a bit fortuitous, I suppose, in the fact that some of them sort of gallop. But he does have a habit of winning the big ones.
Definitely a bit fortuitous in the Dominion. But again, he still had to be there, trot all the way and do the business, and be there at the front in the finish too. So Tonight, it's the same story. We're on a small track. I think all the trotters are brought in probably a lot closer together this time with that regard, with a 25-metre handicap and all that. I think when you look at the record of Tim and Anthony, we're putting a lot of confidence in them. And
so what are the strengths of Take a Moment? I mean, we've heard ad nauseum about La Cucaracha, and basically you're racing almost Lyle Creek here. What are the strengths of Take a Moment your horse takes into the race that maybe he has on the rest of them, her included?
Yeah, I really think that his strength is that he can relax so well in a race. Certainly the extreme distance tonight suits him down to the ground, being the fact that his dam Nakura I think she had 5 wins and all of them were over 3,200 metres. Right. So that suits him down to the ground. There's going to be a lot of luck in the running. I think, in the end of the day, we're going to need La Cucaracha probably to make a mistake for us to take advantage of it. If she does that, we're in with a real show.
Okay, and the other thing that you have got going for you, of course, is that Kiwis are pretty good at playing the underdog too.
Yeah, I think so, but I think tonight you've got no choice to be the underdog. The way La Cucaracha's gone. I mean, we were in Melbourne when she won the Australasian Trotters Championship, and that was one of the most awesome displays I've ever seen from a trotter. That was Lyle Creek-like performance, and that's what we're up against tonight. And we're just keeping our fingers crossed and hoping that I know Tim said that the horse is as well as he can get him, and that's all we can hope for.
Okay, thanks for, if you'll excuse the fun, taking a moment before the big race. They're on the track and warming up now, so good luck in defending the title, Bruce.
Thank you very much, and we hope we can bring home the bacon.
Let's get a bit of closer analysis of the field outside of La Cucaracha, I suppose, with Sam Levi and Adam Hamilton.
Okay, the horses being introduced to the track as we speak. David Fowler just introducing La Cucaracha, and a massive fanfare with that introduction. And why wouldn't there be? La Cucaracha has been virtually unbeatable this time in. In fact, just about right through her career. On the tote, $1.40. Bookmakers are betting much better. It's just unbelievable. Not quite black figures, but just about. I'd expect the $1.40 to maybe just ease only slightly. Her tote following is very solid and already $78,000 in that win pool. There she is, La Cucaracha. I expect her to win. Obviously, she'll need just a touch of luck to get around some traffic. 14 runners around the half-mile track, never easy. But if she begins the way she did last week, well, she's going to be in front of 5 or 6 of them pretty shortly after the start anyway. It'll be a pretty quick pace, I think, because Gamebid did that last week and he proved that he's capable. The extra lap this week is obviously a concern for Gamebid, but it might allow La Cucaracha to be driven just a touch more patiently than we've seen her driven in the last couple of weeks, where Karen Gath has said, all right, well, I'm not going to sit back here, I'm going to get around them now. And when she has done that, the horse has still found plenty under pressure. Maybe Andy Gath was saying to me, they might not have to do that this week. They can just sit back, come with one run. And he said, then you really will see a fantastic trotter. What a comment, because we've already seen one the past few weeks when she's had to do a little bit of work and draw on her courage to win. 16, 15, 14 and 3. I think the back markers are the ones that are in the race. Gamebid can lead and give cheek, but his run last week, or his win last week, was in the easier heat, and it was also only over the 1.5 miles. Things are certainly a little bit different this time around, and the Kiwi connections that most times get it right suggest over 3,300 metres, there's no way Gamebid can beat Special Force and Take a Moment. In saying that, Tote punters think that he can, because half the odds of the other two that I mentioned. That's Gamebid just on vision now. Gavin Lang is the driver, lucky driver, I suppose, because Anthony Butt did drive the horse through the series, and he now gets on because Anthony Butt, well, he's going to drive last year's Inter-Dominion champion winner. That's Take a Moment. Just having a look now, $1.50 for La Cucaracha, so she's easing out slightly, $1.30 on her home tab. Much more support for her there. $87,000 in the win pool, so you're not expecting her to do too much more moving. Can tell you that just about even money on track with the bookmakers. Special Force is